Hello, my dear children. Welcome to my channel Study English with Sapnashree. And today I am explaining first chapter of book Flamingo of class 12th. I have already explained this chapter in Hindi line by line, and today I am explaining that in English. So as you feel comfortable, you watch the video either in Hindi or English and get benefited and secure multicolored marks in your exam by watching this video. So let's get started. So first we discuss about the author. Its author's name is Alphonse Daudet. Alphonse Daudet was a French novelist and short story writer. He depicts the story of Last Lesson, and it was set in the days of Franco-Prussian War. Means there was a war between France and Prussia. Prussia was consisted of Germany, Poland and parts of Austria. And this Prussia defeated France. So one rule was passed that in French districts of Alsace and Lorraine, French won't be taught in the schools, and in place of French, German will be taught. New teacher will join tomorrow and will teach German. So, this story portrays the condition of France after its defeat by the Prussian force. Prussian force desired to have their hands on the complete control of the kingdom, the life and the sentiments of people. And also they prohibited them from learning their mother tongue. So by these practices, a feeling of rebel arose among the French youngsters who valued their mother tongue. They wanted to learn their mother tongue. They didn't want to leave this language. So what is the theme of the last lesson? It revolves around the language, its importance to the citizens of a country. And of course, it is the duty of every citizen to safeguard the language of the country, as it is the identity of that country. It is the key of their prison. There are two main characters in this story. One is school-going boy Franz. Franz is very careless but conscious of his duties. He is nature lover, observant, sensitive, innocent and good thinker. On the other hand, Mr. Hamel is a French teacher. He is very strict, likes discipline. Sometimes he is selfish, but an honest and sensitive man. He is proud of being French, passionate about the French language. Now we start the chapter, the last lesson. Here, a little Franz, a young schoolboy, is the narrator of the story. Franz was hurrying to school because he was late. He feared his class teacher, Mr. Hamel, because Mr. Hamel had assigned homework regarding participles. But Franz didn't learn them because he didn't like French language. He even had a desire to running away and spending the day outdoors. Because the day was warm, cozy, birds were chirping and Persian soldiers were drilling. So these all things were tempting Franz to keep himself away from school. But Mr. Hamel was a strict teacher, so Franz didn't have the courage to stay away. So he hasn't off to school means he hurriedly goes to school. On his way, Franz passed through the town square, where he noticed a crowd in front of the bulletin board. Franz recalled that for the last 2 years, all the bad news displayed there. He wondered what it could be this time. While thinking this, he entered into the school. On reaching school, Franz found the environment is quite unusual. The great bustle which was generally found was missing. The noise made by the children while opening and closing their desk was not found. No lessons were read in unison, and the rapping of the teacher's ruler was not heard. He was not getting what actually is going on. He is thinking in his mind, and now he had planned to enter into the class. Taking advantage of the noise, he reached near the classroom. Peeping in through the window, he saw his friends already sitting in their places, and Mr. Hamel walking to and fro with his iron ruler under his arm. Franz quietly opened the door, but the M. Hamel was not angry. He looked at Franz and told him to take his place. As he sat down, he noticed his teacher was dressed formally, that he wore only on special days. Everyone was quiet and sad. And the most surprising thing was that the village elders, houses, farmers, mayors were sitting on the back benches. He is recalling what was there near the bulletin board and why these all villagers are sitting on the back benches. Not getting, somewhat confused. Then Mr. Hamel sat in the chair and he announced that this was to be the last French lesson. The order had come from Berlin that in future only German would be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Franz realized that this was the news in the town hall. The Franz was sorry at the thought of not having his French lesson anymore. He never liked his books, but now he developed a new fond of love for them. Even he started liking Mr. Hamel. Franz now realized that the old men of the village were sitting there because they were sorry that they had not gone to school for a longer time and had not made the efforts to learn their language. They wanted to thank Mr. Hamel for his 40 years of faithful service and also show respect for their language that was no longer there. Just then, Mr. Hamel asked Franz to recite the rules of participles. Franz could not and was very nervous. He expected Mr. Hamel scold him, but Mr. Hamel didn't. Mr. Hamel said that it was not only Franz to blame. His parents had never been eager to send him to school. They expected him to earn a little money. Mr. Hamel said the French language is the most beautiful, logical, and clearest language in the world. And Mr. Hamel blamed himself too. That many times I used to go for fishing. Sometimes I used to send my children to water my flowers. So I myself feeling that I didn't give my 100% to my students. He told villagers, houses, mayor who were sitting on the back benches that they must guard their language. Don't leave. It is the key of their prison. It is your identity. So don't forget it. And now Mr. Hamel taught grammar. Franz was surprised to see how well he understood it. He realized that earlier neither he had listened carefully nor had Mr. Hamel gave them new copies on which in beautiful handwriting were written the words France Alsace, France Alsace. Everyone set to writing. There was no sound except the sounds of pens writing on the paper. Franz said to himself, will they teach the pigeons to coo in German? As they are forcing us to learn German language. So would they make our pigeons sing in German? Franz then looked up to see Mr. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair. After 40 years, it must break his heart to leave the country. But he was determined to teach till the very last moment, so he taught us very clearly everything I understood. Suddenly, the church clock struck 12. The Prussians sounded their trumpets. Then Hamel wanted to speak to the pupil, but he was struck up. Then he took a piece of chalk and wrote on the blackboard in a very large letter, Vive la France. Then, with the gesture of this hand, he indicated that the school was over. He couldn't utter a word, and with his gesture only, he indicated that the school was over. And here the story is finished. I hope it is clear to you all. If you like it, please comment, share and subscribe this and share to others so that others can be benefited too. Thank you to all. Bye to all.